understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
What do you desire that you can't have?
When I eat a brain, I get visions.
Don't ever come back to Gotham.
You have failed this city.
Jesus, what kind of a preacher are you?
There's about a dozen ways that I could stop you right now. But I don't think I have to.
Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero in the universe.
Now you should at least give a brother a moment to say something heroically clever.
In the future, my friends may not be heroes, but if we succeed, they will be remembered as legends.
Welcome to the DC TV report for the week ending Saturday, November 17th, 2018. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined.
And I'm Sara, academic by day, freelance writer by night.
We're here to bring you recaps, news, and commentary for all live-action television shows based on DC Comics.
And we had 6 new episodes this week. And if you think Ed and I have not been talking about Thanksgiving food off the air, you are wrong. You are obviously new to this program because we've been talking about Thanksgiving food.
Yes, we have. So yeah, lot going on this week. Lot of episodes. Lots of stuff behind the scenes. My brother's in town to get married this week. Yay! So so my day is just hectic.
So are you speechifying at receptions or anything? Do you get to give toasts or anything like that?
Well,
and if they haven't asked you to, are you going to grab the microphone and make it happen?
Well, I'm officiating the big ceremony. So
that's right. It's all one big Ed speech.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. So yeah, we to start off the show, because I feel like this is something we should mention, that he wasn't really a DC contributor, but really just to the field of comic books and the genre of superheroes. His contribution cannot be denied and should be Stan Lee passed away this week. Stan the Man, who helped craft the resurgence of Marvel Comics in the 60s, and co-created every character under the sun that you know: Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, all of them. And the age of 95, as Kevin Smith would say, big bucket of win, huge, massive bucket of win. He will be sorely missed.
Yeah, human cameo machine. He, he was the brightest spot in a lot of Marvel movies for, I think it's amazing that a creator got to have that much face recognition and visible affection, I guess, from fans. It's when you're toiling behind the scenes, I think it can be easy to overlook contributions of writers and artists and things. And he was a face and a personality and larger than life. And did you ever get to see him at cons or anything like that? We got to see him once and he was fantastic.
Yes, I never got to meet him. I didn't get the autograph, but I was in the New York Comic-Con cafeteria as he walked through, and seemingly no one noticed him. It was very strange and odd, but kind of cool.
Did he have an entourage, or was it just Stan?
It was just, as far as I could tell, it was just Stan, just kind of like looking over, smiling, seeing all of the people there. Half of them dressed in costumes of characters he created. But yeah, and as you said, he was the ultimate salesman. As the writer, creating, basically out of necessity, really using what they call the Marvel method, where he would, give a brief outline of a story or just tell an artist and act out the story that he wanted them to draw. Then they would go and draw it on their own and put in all the story beats. And he would just polish it over with dialogue at the end, and kind of, created that process and really was kind of the face of Marvel Comics for a while. And then even when he stopped writing, he, got involved with Marvel moving into television and movies in the 70s and 80s, especially with their cartoons, and was just kind of always been out there, even though he hasn't really been involved in the day-to-day stuff for a while. When you think of Marvel Comics, you can't help but think of Stan Lee.
You know what else I think of? This is going to be a stretch, but the Simpsons episode, I'm Furious Yellow, 2002, that Stan Lee did the voice for. And at some point, Bart says, wait, is Stan Lee still here? And comic book guy says, Stan Lee never left. And it's my favorite mental thing when Stan Lee, because Stan Lee never left when he comes up. But you know what? Stan Lee is never going to leave. He is so indelible in pop culture. And so this idea that, he's gone, but Stan Lee is never going to be gone because he did so much for the pop culture landscape. So
yeah,
Stan Lee, you never left our hearts. Yeah. And to make this a DC thing, should we do this?
Sure.
the Superman statue in Metropolis, Illinois, was given a black armband.
Aww.
To honor his passing. So that was nice that DC represented Stan Lee. So
we got a couple of emails this week, and some tweets, but there's one in particular before we get into the recaps that I wanted to read. Sarah, you ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is from Steph, our buddy over at the Gotham Lights podcast, or Orville Lights. I think it's Gotham Lights this week. And said I just wanted to send in a quick email to say that I love the new podcast logo image. It looks very nice on iTunes. I'm also available whenever Sarah is ready to talk about DC cooking with Sarah.
Steph and I had a good time coming up with recipes for our DC cookbook. Yeah. Cornish game hens of prey is my favorite. Continue.
Yes. And for those of you, if you may need to refresh your podcast feed, but Bill Sweeney added some cosmic elements to our logo on podcatchers, and I think it's kind of cool. Go check it out.
I didn't know that was happening. I was excited to see it too. Ooh, fresh.
Yeah. Also, we got a tweet out from @BauerFett. He's going to be sprinkled through a lot this week. He sent us an email too, but this tweet in particular I thought was funny. He, on my 7th episode of DC TV Report re-listen tonight as sleep eludes me. Hope Ed and Dr. Sara enjoy the bump in number of downloads. Thank you.
Yeah, like I told him on Twitter, when Blue Apron comes knocking, we'll make sure he gets the credit for that.
Yes.
It's all due to Bauerfett.
So and if you wanted to tweet at us, it's at DCTV Report. Email us at dctv@wickedtheory.com. We love to hear from you. Even just it doesn't need to be about an episode, just random questions you want to know about the cookbook, like what's Sarah's favorite DC Comics chicken recipe. I don't know. Yeah.
Beast boiled carrots. Come on.
All right. Sarah, we got to get through this fast. We got 6 episodes to get through. We could do this.
Okay.
You ready to start?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, here we go. First up, Supergirl, Season 4, Episode 5, Parasite Lost. Agent Liberty gave Jansen the powers of Parasite and set him loose on National City. John helped Kara land an interview with a renowned alien healer who later became deathly ill when the amulet that channeled his powers was stolen. Colonel Haley began her oversight of Alex at the DEO and was surprisingly considerate. James and Lena were unsure how to handle Guardian's new status as a human hero. Last minute reveal, Ben Lockwood got a call from James about going on his show.
James, I'm so disappointed in you.
Yeah, he probably thinks I can handle it. No, you can't. No, you can't.
This is how you get sympathetic Nazi profiles in the New York Times, is all I'm saying. When the media is like, well, maybe we need the other side. Let's humanize the Nazis. Let's not do that. The New York Times.
So yeah.
But no, for all of my concerns that the show was not going to be very subtle about its metaphors, when you read about it, they're taking on the anti-immigrant sentiment and this and that, and you think, oh, it's going to be bad. But, they've given us kind of an understandable slide for Ben Lockwood. Now they're showing us how James is starting to sort of come around maybe to some of those ideas. I in some ways, they're doing a really good job of explaining how this happens and how this comes to be with a little bit more subtlety and grace than I was expecting, honestly. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job keeping up the allegory. And, it does, I mean, that's the beauty of science fiction is you can dance around these things. And, as long as it's not too overt or in your face, it doesn't seem preachy at all. Mm-hmm. Everything makes sense within the context of the story. So, I'm fine with it.
And Supergirl can do preachy. I mean, we saw the Gun episode last season was preachy, and they really haven't done that this season. So I've been relieved to see that they have a lighter touch. And what's also interesting, I think, is Haley is a different kind of not villain, but I mean, she clearly holds feelings about aliens as well. It doesn't get in the way of how she does her job necessarily. She works well with Alex, but it was interesting to me to see this is what it looks like to have those beliefs and to operate at the professional capacity that you do, and then on the sideline say, oh yeah, this is how I feel, but keep doing what you're doing. Just a different look at how people's opinions express themselves. I don't know. I'm enjoying the show and the storyline this season.
Yeah, that was sneaky. That was sneaky, the way she kind of like, oh, so this is going to be fine. I was like, oh, that's why she's so nice.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Also, let's talk about Sam Witwer in that last scene. Oh, my God. Starting to lose it, starting to freak out. James calls. He realizes it's James. He pulls it together. He puts on that charming, affable mask. Incredible performance. Sam Witwer is amazing this season.
Yeah, and I think the problem that character has right now is there's no one to tell him his clothes are ugly. Like he doesn't have a friend who could take him aside and say, "Listen, man, I think you're being kind of an asshole here." It's just like now that Otis and Mercy are gone, I mean, it's totally up.
He has nobody to say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. I feel like Otis would do that for him.
Yes. Yeah. Now let's talk about the real pressing thing here. And I think the most fun part of the episode, which was getting to see Brainiac 5 drunk.
Holy cow, yes. They're deploying him in very small doses this season in a way where I wish we were getting more of him, but maybe I only wish we were getting more of him because they're giving us just the right amount of him. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. And it's funny. I thought we were going to get to see more of him and Nia kind of like interact throughout the episode, but that was just in the first scene. And they kind of moved away from it after that.
I think they're going to dole it out. They're going to dole it out in little pieces, and I'm okay with that. But he was delightful. That whole brunch scene, oh my God. Hire Cara Danvers to plan your parties, because that was gorgeous.
Yes. And speaking of Cara Danvers, we need a Sara Netzley journalism report on a letter scale. How would you grade her reporting skills this week?
How much lower than F can I go? Is there a grade below F? Because, I want to root for her. I want to be her biggest fan. But oh my God. I turned in my story. I'm reading the comments. Oh, people didn't like it. Fiddle-dee-dee. Maybe I should do some background research on my subject now that I've published my article. No. What? No. Did you not Google him? Even Google him before you interviewed him? I want to be your fan, Kara, but that is Bush League. Ugh.
Yeah, I gotta say, the second she said that, I was like, oh, Sarah's gonna have trouble with this. This is oh, we're in trouble. That's not good.
I guess I'm glad to be so predictable on this, but it's just, if they had just said, oh, I just discovered this, I didn't know this was out there, somebody just brought this to my attention, like some indication that she had at least researched him. But no, she was just like, oh, I looked through LexisNexis. No, what? No.
Yeah.
Or I saw Elizabeth's mother and I thought she looked familiar, and I went back, and you know what, when I was reviewing, this is her. I really, no, nothing. No, you could have, with very little.
Yeah.
So that was disappointing.
All right.
You know who was not disappointing?
Who's that?
Alex. Alex this week. Oh my God. She talks Jensen down with the power of her optimism and her faith in humanity. She stands up for John to her new boss. She is everything. She is baller. Alex today, Alex tomorrow, Alex forever.
Yeah, Alex really is the most solid character in this show right now. Really been holding it down. Yeah, I second that motion. What did you think of the villain this week of Jansen as Parasite? Sort of.
You know, Parasite. The impression I got was that comic fans weren't thrilled with how quickly Parasite was dealt with in the season 2 episode. And so it's kind of cool to bring him back. I kind of wish he'd gotten more than an episode, because that power is interesting and menacing. And this is another time where, you know, the Graves apparently are actually really dead. And now Jensen's like brain is mush. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of burning through a lot of the villains really quickly. Like you say, it leaves Ben without anybody to say, yo, dude, you gotta take a step back. So we're done with all these people who we had been reporting on this summer. Hey, just been cast, gonna be bad guys. Now they're all gone. Where are they going from here? What did you think?
Yeah, I thought so too. You know, it's weird. I thought the power set was interesting. You know, I really liked the look of Parasite. You know, just that big hulking purple guy. Which I know, you know, kind of like pushes the envelope in TV. But you know, it's the kind of thing, but I actually thought the story was compelling. And you know, Parasite is one of those villains that like really, if he gets close to Supergirl or Superman, can truly pose a real threat. And you know, that moment when he touches her in this episode, I was genuinely frightened. I thought that was a really scary moment. And yeah, I wish we did have more time with him.
Can I confess something really awful? I had to think about him in terms of characters from the TV show Hero. Are Parasite's powers like Skylar, where he absorbs and keeps all of them? Or is he like Peter Petrelli, who just takes them one at a time? Was it Peter who took them one at a time?
Yes.
But I wasn't sure which one it was, and so I was glad that they explained it to me, because I couldn't remember from episode 2. But yeah, apparently my go-to for understanding that is the television show Heroes and not actual comic books, and I was ashamed.
That's okay. That's okay.
But that's my truth. That's my you needed to know.
Yeah, the first season of that show was really good.
It really was.
It really was. And then that fall was steep.
It was.
It was wow. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else with Supergirl you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Just Alex, yay.
Yeah. All right. News for Supergirl?
All right. Let's talk about this, Ed.
What's that?
We have some casting news. Are you ready?
Sure. Lay it on me.
Okay, Lex Luthor will be played by, are you ready?
Okay.
John Cryer.
Lenny
Luthor.
Nephew Lenny from Superman 4, The Quest for Peace?
Nephew Lenny from Superman 4: The Quest for Peace has been cast as Lex in this, the year of our Lord 2018.
That's a wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's a pull. So like, how is Lillian his mom? Aren't they like the same age?
She is 5 years older than he is. So, in Hollywood, if you're over the age of 30, you're a grandma. If you're a woman, and if you're a man, apparently you're still 20. So how... Look, okay, I really like John Cryer, actually. Stay with me, he was in NCIS 2 seasons ago for a multi-episode arc, and he was great. He was offbeat and interesting, but kind of serious, but funny. He was really, really good. I have no question that his acting is going to be fantastic. But he's the wrong age. I'm sorry, he's the wrong age.
Yeah.
Lena's his sister. Lena's early 20s, mid 20s. I don't actually know how old she is, but she's in there somewhere. Can't even graph. How does this? What are they? How are we supposed to take this? I don't understand. If he was her dad, if he was married to Lillian and was Lena's dad, great. That makes sense. Cool. But no, that's not what it is. No.
Yeah, this is weird. This is odd. I don't, and especially like of all the Superman properties you're gonna pull from, like we're gonna get John Cryer on the show before Sherman Howard. This is yeah, okay, but all right, so we'll just have to go with it.
On Twitter at Deke273 shared this story with us and said, I don't know, man, Ducky just doesn't scream Lex Luthor bad guy to me. Can't hear what Sarah Netzley and Edward O'Hare TBD have to say about this. And I responded, of course, I have thoughts. To which Tanya Melendez at Tanya Mel says, are those thoughts, unless Michael Rosenbaum personally recommended him, this is bullshit, or this show is not therapy for John Cryer to accept his hair loss? Oops, those are my thoughts. So, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay. So this tweet makes more sense now, which is at Bauer Fett. I could see Washout from Hot Shots going bad.
I mean, oh god, sure. Why not Supergirl? Maybe they'll have something baked into the script where Lex got hit with an agenting ray and he's been agented. I don't know. Ugh. Wow.
All right.
Anyway, I guess let us know your thoughts at
the
DC TV Report on Twitter. Tell us. Let's see. Other news, quickly. More casting. Kate Burton and Hannah James have been cast as Naya's mom and sister. Kate Burton was on Scandal. Vice President Sally, what's her name? Voice of Liberty. So that could be kind of interesting. And then looking ahead, this week is a Thanksgiving episode. And this week, we're going to see Brainy fight. So Brainy's fighting style should be something to behold. I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
And Ed, I say this mostly for you because I know how you feel about Kevin Smith. But Kevin Smith's episode, Bunker Hill, will air on December 2nd. So that is coming up. Set your clocks.
Yay! All right.
Yay.
All right. So moving on to our next episode, which is Arrow, Season 7, Episode 5, The Demon. In Level 2 of Slabside, Oliver discovered that the demon was Talia al Ghul, who wanted his help escaping. While waiting for a signal from the tracking device they laid on Silencer, Felicity and Laurel enlisted help from Dinah, researching Dr. Parker and the secrets of Level 2. Curtis reluctantly went undercover for Argus to try and catch an arms dealer. Last-minute reveal, Silencer found Diaz in Moscow, choking the life out of Anatoly.
I gotta say, my main takeaway from this episode was how strongly I felt about the need to protect Anatoly at all costs. I didn't know I felt this strongly, but I was like, don't you dare, you monster. Don't you dare hurt Anatoly.
Yeah. For a heartless mobster, underground killer, you feel for the guy.
You do.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah. So I think it's funny. The demon, when we announced this episode title, I was speculating, like, the demon, it's either the demon Etrigan or it's Ra's al Ghul, and I was sort of in the ballpark because we get Talia here.
I guess I kind of thought, it can't possibly be the demon, the Ra's al Ghul demon that they've been referenced, that has been baked into Arrow for so long, because that would be too obvious. And then, no, that's what it was. That's what it was. All right. Always good to see her. Always good to have her on the show. She always elevates things. Yeah.
And I thought we got much more in depth with her character than we did in season 5 when she showed up. I thought this was a good episode for Oliver. The only thing for this whole episode, it kind of felt stalling. It felt a little like things should be moving forward quickly. Like, I feel like he should be out of prison by now. And it seemed like they were kind of like holding the goalpost.
I felt like that almost this whole season. After that, the premiere, everything he does in prison and everything Felicity does out of prison and everything the B team does, I'm not sure I could tell you what separates episode 3 from episode 5, because it's all Felicity wants to get Oliver out and her family's been destroyed and Oliver just wants to survive, and just, they're kind of treading the same beats in a way that I'm just not super enjoying. Also, bring back John Diggle, because the shambling automaton who looks like John Diggle is not John Diggle, and I'm really not enjoying that.
You didn't like his hallway talk with Curtis?
Curtis undercover was kind of fun. Sure, that's fine. I guess I'd rather see Curtis than like Renee or Dinah, I guess. Yeah. The Felicity, Laurel, Dinah stuff was good. I enjoy the three of them working together. I think they're kind of snarky and interesting with each other. Laurel's transformation from Black Siren to Laurel happened pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And she's not a lawyer.
She is definitely not a lawyer. I'm glad you brought that up, Ed. Because she is not. But she just sort of, they're calling her Laurel now. She's not Black Siren. She just, I feel like she had a whole sort of personality transplant, and I don't know, whatever. It's what the show is giving us this season, so okay.
Yeah, well, actually, we got a tweet about that from @River8878. Hey, Ashley. Just finished this week's Arrow, and I'm wondering if the writers listened to this show with how many people are pointing out that Siren isn't a real lawyer. LOL. And when is this big pillow fight Sara promised?
Yeah, I would take any pillow fight at this point. Any just soft object fight would be good.
Yeah.
I did think that there was something kind of interesting about pointing out the actual cost of vigilantism. The cost on people's lives and their families, and Curtis talks about everything it wrecked for him, and obviously this is Felicity and Oliver are where they are because of the effects of trying to make things better. That was kind of interesting, but it just is kind of getting lost in the relentless grimdark and repetition of themes, I guess.
Yeah, I think also the fact that those three characters spent half the episode looking through manila folders. I thought that was kind of a waste of their characters. I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought this was supposed to be the wacky, pointy goatee from the comics season. Hey, Oliver's got the goatee, everybody. But no, that's not what this is.
Nope. All right. So yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing. It was a well done episode, but I wish they'd move it along. They move it along a little faster. Yeah. Anything more to point out, or can we get into news?
We can get into news, but there isn't super much news. The news is, in this week's episode, Due Process, Laurel steps in to help defend Oliver legally in a court of law.
All right.
Moving on to Legends.
All right. DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 4, Wet Hot American Bummer. The legends travel to a summer camp in 1995 looking for some kind of swamp monster. Zari and Mick babysat the shapeshifter while she got more comfortable with life on the Wave Rider. Last minute reveal, Nora Dark finished preparing a nasty stew at a Ren Fair.
I was not expecting the Ren Fair.
Yes. Yeah, I gotta say, I was a little disappointed in this episode because I feel like it was kind of a bait and switch because we got that green monster for like half a second in the trailer for last week, and then it turns out no, it's not Swamp Thing, it's Swamp Thang, from a cheesy horror movie that Sara didn't remember.
I honestly, when she didn't remember it, I was like, "Ooh, is this did they mess up the timeline? Did it change this or this or this?" And no, that's not what happened. That's just a movie she didn't remember. And okay, so are we going to get a horror pastiche at the? No, not really. No. So, yeah, this show always fun. Always fun. The characters remain delights, but there was a lot going on this week and a lot of ideas that they kind of all tossed into a blender, and I don't know that it a little more unification in theme and storytelling and direction probably would have served this episode a little bit better.
Yeah. This was. I mean, if you're going to compare it to, again, I've been on a Friday the 13th kick just because of the podcast In Voorhees We Trust on Stitcher Premium. And this is kind of the closest to Friday the 13th Part 6, which most fans will remember is the one without nudity.
Oh yeah, the why bother one. Sure.
Yes. But yeah, you got plenty of fun stuff. I thought the Ray arc with him trying to teach these kids survival skills and realizing that they're just boys who want to run around and beat each other up. But they did make him proud at the end. I thought that was great. I
just enjoyed all the different parenting styles.
Yes.
Sara versus Ava, Constantine versus Ray. They really did choose great characters to bounce off each other at the camps. And Constantine he's so cool. He just looks so cool, even in camp gear. How does he do it? He's so cool. Oh my God.
He's the kind of guy who, like, if you're a kid at that camp, you think he's really cool. And if you're a counselor, you hate that guy.
Oh, you want to murder that guy for show. Also, real fast, 1995 fashion critic here. This really lands in my sweet spot of fashion because I was just at that age. Everything was wrong.
Yeah.
The women's khaki shorts should have had way more pleats. The socks, no. Nobody was wearing tall stripy socks in 1995. No. The braided belt, Sarah's braided belt, perfect. Okay, here endeth. Like, I cannot speak on any fashion other than 1995. And so this just happened to be an area where I could be like, wrong. All right, keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought this looked more like mid-80s than...
Yeah, definitely.
Than the 90s.
And I'm not sure why they didn't go straight up 80s. I'm not sure why they made it 1995. Was there any...
Well, I think because they wanted to make it like this is the same age when Sara would have been at camp.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to puzzle through was why not just go straight up 80s. So,
So yeah. And so instead it turned out that Chad was the Striga demon. Did you suspect
Chad? They didn't make it the old lady. No, I did not, and I should have. I was actually when they showed the mean old woman, I was like, seriously, are we doing this? And then of course they didn't, because of course Legends isn't going to go for the obvious cliche, So, you called it right away, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, it's also because the sleepaway camps I went to with Boy Scouts, we were only there for a week. It wasn't like these high-end rich kids sleepaway camps where you're there for the whole summer because your parents, kind of just think of you as an accessory. So, but like those counts, we used to go to Boy Scout camp towards the end of the summer, like the last week. where everyone was tired out, and there were always those really hyper counselors who just were a ball of energy. But what you realize by the end of the week is that they do that because they hate themselves.
I thought you were just going to say you can't trust anybody with pecs that nice.
Yeah. So like the second he was all high energy, and like you didn't get any sense that like, oh no, he's not doing. He really hates this. He just kind of puts on a face. I was like, oh no, it's got to be him, because no one's that happy. No one's that happy around children. Just no, sorry. But that's probably very cynical of me to say. I'll admit it, but it's just my experience. That's all.
Is it because you yourself are not that happy around children? Because that's me.
No, I don't. I don't mind. You just gotta know how to handle it. Like I was telling Sarah this before. She may have. Was it nieces staying with you this weekend?
I have nieces possibly staying with us over the Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very easy to handle. You talk to them like they're normal people, and don't talk down to them like they're kids. And then you lock them in a room with a television and a giant bowl of sugar, and everything will work itself out.
I'm picturing like horse feed bags, like strapping on their muzzles.
Yeah. And leave them alone. That's yeah. You'll be fine.
So my brother listens to this podcast. I'm not going to do that to your children, dude. That's not... Awkward laughter.
Yes. Yeah. I don't plan on having kids, but I can't wait to be the wacky uncle. So, and my sister sometimes listens to this. So yeah. Sure. Let's get back to the episode.
Sure.
Reveille. That was the name of that song. The bugle call in the morning to wake you up. It was called Reveille. Sorry. It was bugging me that.
Mostly, I was just going to say I enjoyed that Sarah's special skills were martial arts, specifically knives and swords. She stays on brand.
Yes. Yeah. And let's talk about Ava and Sara as kids. Did you like that whole beat? I thought that was cool. I thought that was handled really well.
It was adorable. Well, and I like that it continues the Ava development, that she didn't have the normal childhood, that, this is, of course, this was an assignment she was going to struggle with. So I just it fit with what we know about her character, both background wise and personality today. Yeah, I thought that was handled really, really well.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want?
We said nothing about the shapeshifter on the Wave Rider.
Oh, yes. Yeah, of course Mick is going to be the one who gets along with her.
Of course.
Yeah, I think that was evident. Zari was kind of out of her league. 'Cause she got away pretty quickly, but Mick knew how to handle it the second. And that's the only reason you leave him on there. I don't know why they didn't just have Mick in charge of her in the first place. Probably just because
truly.
Probably just because he wanted a nap.
Yeah, he was actually passed out when they were signing out, giving out the assignments. So.
But yeah, I thought that relationship was cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And hey, we saw some Nora Dark, so maybe she'll appear again soon.
Yeah. I wonder what they didn't. Did they say what year that Ren Fair was? Because it.
I was assuming it was present day. I guess I just kind of thought it was 2018. Mostly I wished that she could hex that guy immediately. Like, I really wanted her to unleash the full range of her fury upon him. So.
Yeah. I mean, that potion did look disgusting. It was...
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. All right. Any news for Legends?
Just a couple of episode updates. This week, we have Nate's dad taking a trip on the Wave Rider, and so there had better be a sports almanac joke that they make. And then the December 3rd episode is titled Hell No, Dolly, which just makes me happy. So that's it for Legends.
All right, on to The Flash, Season 5, Episode 5, All Dolled Up. Barry faced off against Ragdoll, who was stealing and destroying things coveted by Central City's wealthiest. Nora tried hanging with Cecile to get her mind off how much she hated her mom. Cisco was hurting himself every time he vibed an object, trying to help Caitlin learn more about her father's disappearance. Last minute reveal, after Cisco found a way to co-opt the Thinker's satellites to track metas, Caitlin was nervous to use them to look for her father.
Well, and I don't know about you, but this episode gets a big hell no from me. Oh, no. No.
No?
Hell no on that villain. Nope.
Oh, man. Ragdoll. That was, I mean, we talk about there were some creepy moments. There were some scary moments in Supergirl. And Legends was a horror base, but this was truly horrifying.
But in the best way. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Seeing him crawl out of that box.
And, for me, it was seeing him, but it was also hearing him, because the sound effects that they added, the creaking, cracking sound effects, awful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it almost makes you wonder why they didn't pull him out sooner. But yeah. Just because he's so obscure, but also, my favorite shot in this episode was when they're at the gala on sitting on the steps, and Barry and Iris are having that serious relationship conversation, and then the camera just tilts up, and then you see him on the roof watching everybody. Oh man,
this was so much fun. Really well cast.
Yeah.
I mean, what contortionists can do with their bodies, amazing and awful. And thank you for using it to creep us all out, Flash. Although, I will say, Mulder and Scully solved the case of the stretchy fingerprint 2 decades ago in the 4th episode of The X-Files with Eugene Victor Toombs. The end.
Okay.
I mean, as soon as Barry's, oh yeah, we have the stretchy fingerprint. Maybe it's Mulder and Scully handle this. If you knew your classics, you would know this. Come on.
Your classics. We've got to come up with that with the classic television canon. Like everyone's got to watch X-Files and Happy Days.
Okay, but not every season of the X-Files. But that's a whole part of it. Like what seasons belong.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Like all the pre-Shark Happy Days stuff, maybe a little bit of Chachi sprinkled in here and there, but
I mean, Lost, I think belongs in the canon. Yeah,
first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Heroes season 1,
as we discussed.
Yes. But yeah. So and Nora, I was really. It's funny because it seems like we're beating up on Nora when I'm saying this, but I thought it was really cool the way Cecile stood up for Iris.
Yes. Cecile is really good this season. I spent a lot of last season sort of irritated. I shouldn't say last season, but she was not always the best character, but they're writing her much better this season. I like her a lot. And yeah, she was the voice of reason. I like that she stood up for Iris. I think she said some things that the audience has been thinking, So yeah, that was good. And I like that Nora listens to her. That was a cool relationship developing.
Yeah, definitely. Now Cisco and Caitlin.
How does a storyline about Caitlin finding her dad turn into all about Cisco?
Yeah. Well, also, I was getting confused because they're talking about like finding her dad was going to be the key to discovering who Cicada was, and I couldn't make that connection.
No,
like I didn't understand what they were talking about.
Well, no, and I think it's because, as with almost everything, Caitlin's storyline always gets shoved to the back burner in a confusing way. I don't care what season, I don't care what plot line. I feel like there's always some Cisco drama, Barry drama, villain of the week drama that pushes the Caitlyn storyline to the fringes, and it never is fully developed. And this season, as excited as I was to, we're going to learn about her powers and meet her dad and this and that, yet again, it's just getting shunted to the side to tell other stories. I hope they can bring that a little more front and center, because right now I'm disappointed but not surprised. Flash. Disappointed but not surprised.
Yeah, and I think we are going to get that next season. Next episode. It does seem like they're going that direction.
I hope so. But I've been thinking that for a couple episodes now. Okay, we're going to get the... Well, no, I guess not. But yeah, you're right. This upcoming episode should be. Yeah. Also, real quick, did Iris always want to be Soledad O'Brien? Or did Iris take a journalism class as a blow-off course once in college? Let's not retcon this, Flash. Let's not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That said,
well,
I do not know that I would jump off a building like Iris did to save my husband. I love my husband very much, but I don't know that I dive headfirst off a building like that. So Iris was pretty baller this week.
She was. That's something. William Goldman passed away the day before we're recording this. And I gotta say, Iris and Kara on Supergirl are the only two journalists I've ever met who didn't say they were inspired to become a reporter by the movie All the President's Men.
I honestly assume neither of them have seen All the President's Men. Honestly. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, kids, get on that.
William Goldman, incredible writer. The Princess Bride is the movie, of course, is perfect. The book is so incredible too. His dialogue, his screenplays, he's just it was a hard week.
Yeah.
Hard week for towering literary figures.
Yeah, I've always been partial to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yes.
It's
a small price to pay for beauty.
So back to the episode.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, Iris and Kara could learn a few things from that movie. I mean, I do think that when they were at that gala using her quote unquote journalism credentials as a cover, I thought that was a good use of that. I kind of thought it was weird that the mom, Mrs. Merkel, was straight up like, I don't care what my son is doing. I haven't talked to him in 5 years. Just like really cold and out there. And it's like, oh, no wonder he screwed up. But the final scene, with the flaming building and everything else, is this a new term we're using? Satellite meta?
I guess. Had we heard that in previous episodes?
Yeah, because because with Spin, the impression that we got was that it was technology was what was screwing things up now, and it wasn't people with powers, it was people with gadgets now that were going to be influenced by that satellite. And Ragdoll doesn't seem like that type of hero.
Correct.
That type of villain. I don't think he's not taking any kind of drugs or anything like that. That just seems to be his powers, is that he can move in and out of things, unless it's like something specific with his mask, but I didn't get that impression either.
But yeah, you're right. It felt like we were going on a theme of tech enhanced metas, and then Ragdoll threw us right back into just garden variety meta, although there was nothing garden variety about him. But
no,
but I'm still glad they gave him to us, because yikes. Those were indelible images. Good job, Flash.
Yeah. Also, him floating around in Ralph's stomach at the end.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I think that might have been the creepiest visual of all. All right. Any news for Flash?
Just that we had reported this summer about the 100th episode is going to showcase a lot of villain speedsters from the past, from Barry's past. And that episode airs on December 4th, and it will feature Barry and Nora going back in time, which might explain why we're going to see some of the greatest villain hits. So look forward to that.
All right. Next up, Black Lightning. Season 2, Episode 5, The Book of Blood, Chapter 1, Requiem. Gamby's car exploded while he was trying to escape guys in black suits, and Jefferson refused to believe that he was dead. Anissa started a new job at the medical center and tried rekindling things with Grace Choi. Jennifer was bored with online schooling and trying to ignore Khalil's texts. Tobias blackmailed a city councilman into making the medical center relocate and set his sights on making Khalil prove himself. Lynn and Dr. Jace felt they were close to a breakthrough on stabilizing the pod subjects. Last-minute reveal, Anissa raced into South Freeland away from a racist sheriff who had something crawling under his skin.
Okay, your summaries for Black Lightning are as long as your summaries for the rest of the shows combined.
Yeah, it's so. Oh my god. Yeah. It was busy. It was busy this episode.
Okay,
lot to talk
first,
about.
Though, we have to start with Gammy.
No. Oh. And that was a good car chase. I thought that was pretty good for TV. I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
And he pulled a Nick Fury. He had to have cut a hole in cut a hole in the ground and snuck into some underground cave or something.
Yeah, I'm of two minds with that. I think obviously you don't see the body in a show like this. That means he's coming back. On the other hand, that was some real grief, and they really addressed the grief and the loss and the shock head on. And boy, does that undercut the power of those scenes in the future if Gamby shows up with an eye patch,
Yeah,
but it's a superhero show, so he's gonna show up with an eye patch. But
yeah, and I thought it was really cool to see Jefferson in denial at first, just being like, "Oh no, he's fine. Let's just hang out and wait." And then slowly over the course of the episode, when he realizes he's not coming back, it was really hard.
Before I realized that it was going to actually get serious with Gamby, I was super amused by him just rolling around town in his Taylor car, his branded Taylor car.
Yeah,
that made me laugh. Who doesn't have a car with the logo of their tailor shop on it? Like a boss.
Yeah, of course.
And then it was less funny when everything else happened.
Yeah. Okay, so which daughter do you want to talk about first, Anissa or Jennifer?
Let's do Anissa.
Anissa. Wow. That was the most awkward love scene I've seen in a while. That when she just kind of almost forces herself onto Grace, I felt really skeeved out by that.
Oh, see, I took that as a grief bang, and I guess I was comfortable with it because Grace seemed to the grief bang is a real thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Grace did not seem into that. Grace was just kind of going along with it because this is really strong and she might kill me.
Oh God, that's not how I read it at all. My God.
Yeah. And it was just, okay, I'm going to wait this out till morning and then give her the business because she can't ever try to pull this with me again.
Well, that's a dark interpretation. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I felt about the scene. Oh man, that was not cool.
Well, that I will say that relationship is not shaping up the way we kind of thought it would Is it? You know, I
No.
thought it was going to be, oh, cool, Grace from the comics. Oh, this is fun. Oh, oh, no.
No.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, that was okay. But okay, but that's the thing. Also, but I did think the whole stuff with Anissa and Anaya, the pregnant girl at the medical center, I thought that was a well done story arc.
Yeah, I super love her bedside manner. I do think she's a great medical professional. She's a great doctor. She's great in the community, and I like watching that side of her.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish we'd get a little bit more of that in some ways, although I do like the vigilantism and the stealing from the mobsters to help the poor and this and that. But yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and do you think how do you think she's going to react to the move? To the medical center, to basically to buy, you know, the city councilman basically all but told the press that Tobias Whale is paying to move this place.
Badly. I think she's going to react badly.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, because it's like, oh, they're getting all this money and funding and they're getting more resources, but like something doesn't feel right about this. You know, like what's Tobias's angle here? Man. So yeah. Now Jennifer, young lady, stay away from Khalil. Like, block his number.
I am really enjoying that this season because I get it. I
Yes.
get it. You know,
Oh.
she's struggling so hard, and he's this dangerous, beautiful temptation. I get it. But yeah, young lady, make better choices. Make your parents proud.
Yeah, and also if you're gonna homeschool someone, like someone needs to be there to make sure she's doing her work. Like, that's not how homeschooling works. You can't just lock her in a room and tell her to take tests online. You like if you're gonna do that, you hire a tutor.
I want a whole episode of Black Rapunzel disrespecting her online teaching site. That's what I want.
Yeah. But yeah, and why is Lynn trusting Dr. Jace?
I don't know. Is there not always a pod emergency? Like every week a pod emergency? And every week Dr. Jace proves to be terrible. And every week Lynn is like pursed lips disapproving. Come on, Lynn.
Like, Lynn should have rerun those tests herself. And, you know, like she was way too trusting. The fact that, you know, that 9 of the subjects, or, you know, that 14 of the 25 subjects survived, like that, you know, like that is not a good sacrifice. You know, and to me, it's just impatience, you know, like they she could have figured it out. They were close, but, yeah, that was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking.
Yes. And I like that Lynn was like, yeah, I'm going to punch you full in the view of everybody in this room. I'm going to punch you in the face.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. It's so much stuff is going on. There's like 5 major storylines, and none of them seem to be connecting to each other right now, which is weird.
Well, won't it make it all that much sweeter when they all come together somehow?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, yeah, I'm confused about the path for that.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm you know, I'm hoping they clarify this in the next couple episodes. We start seeing things weave in together.
You know, but if any show is going to do it and do it well, I feel like it's going to be Black Lightning.
Yeah. Definitely. But like, yeah, it's, you know, I mean, everyone was all over the place this week.
I also really, really like Jefferson in the bar realizing, man, I gotta intervene in this fight. Because he's a good guy. You know, he's not gonna let that happen. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was nice to see 2 Bits. I like that character. I hope we see more of him going forward.
Yeah.
But all right. All right. Any news on Black Lightning?
Just a bit of casting news. RJ Seiler is going to play an awkward teen who gets sort of scooped up by Tobias Whale to work with him in a partnership. So maybe that's how the storylines will all come together. I don't know. But I think Tobias Whale sort of mentoring an awkward, nerdy teenager in the arts of villainy could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm up for that. All right. And that was it, right?
That's it.
All right. Final episode, Titans. Season 1, Episode 6, Jason Todd. Dick got to spend some quality time getting to know Jason Todd, the kid who replaced him as Robin. The Melting Man was using a vile acid to murder Dick's old friends from Haley's Circus. Corey, Rachel, and Gar met Dick and Jason at a safe house to watch over the unconscious Dr. Adamson. Last minute reveal, Corey woke up Dr. Adamson, who refused to speak to anyone but Rachel.
All right. I loved this episode, but I have to start by saying, of course, Bruce Wayne's safe house has a portrait of Machiavelli on the damn wall. Of course it does. That was the least surprising, best character revealing thing in this show so far. Of course Machiavelli's on the wall. I'm sorry. All right, you say things.
Yeah, I actually thought it's interesting to see how even though we don't see Bruce at all, we see that he's taking very different tactics with how he's training Dick and Jason. Basically telling him up front, okay, I'm gonna put a tracker in your arm.
And Jason's like, yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you drive the Batmobile. I'm gonna be nice to you and have fun and kind of ingratiate you into this. And Dick, you're gonna learn about Machiavelli.
I think maybe that's just that's Bruce understanding the two different dudes he was dealing with there. Because try to tell Jason Todd you're going to learn about Machiavelli, I don't think that's going to go over.
No. What's funny is and the thing that they kept from the comics, Jason Todd was always kind of basically a runaway, but the fact that the way he impressed Batman was by trying to steal the hubcaps from the Batmobile. That's an element that they're keeping here. I thought that was fun and interesting. And yeah, Jason Todd is not a nice guy.
So
that'll.
I went from, this guy's kind of a dick to, oh my God, this guy is straight up a sociopath and somebody should call the authorities. Oh my God.
He hates cops and he beats the crap out of cops. What the hell's up with that?
So I'm taking notes. I look down, I look up, and there's Jason Todd snapping literally a cop's spine in half. And I look over at my husband and I'm like, did I miss it? Are these bad cops? No. He said, those are just cops. So dude, that's not Bruce would not be okay with that. That's not Batman's way. Batman doesn't
I don't
want
see
that.
Bruce around here.
Oh my God. Yeah, fuck Batman. Actually, that was the chance to say that again, but in a really different context. I'm surprised the show missed that opportunity.
Yeah. Now, real quick, because we got an email from our buddy at Bowerfett, Brian, that I want to read here because it kind of has to deal with this. So, hello, Dr. Sara and Mr. Ed. All right, I'll let that slide once. You know what? It was you're making a funny joke. I'm just gonna let that go.
It made me laugh.
I'm gonna let that go. But don't
push it.
Don't push it. Don't push it. Longtime listener, first time emailer, Brian here. Now that we are halfway through the first season of Titans, I want your real thoughts of the DC streaming service. After almost a year of hearing someone's frustration of no launch date, pricing, and for the most part a fairly closed setup of a product in a time where we almost have seen most of any movie prior to the premiere. As for Titans, I continue to be surprised by Starfire, whom I thought they totally missed on, but though I agree she needs new clothes, even if the dress pays homage to the cartoon's uniform. After watching episode 6, Jason Todd, I would like to hear Ed's thoughts of what he said about episode 1. Yes, Dick the Robin who scrapes a guy's head through a broken windshield is the nice one, considering Jason likes beating up a squad of police. Also, did you catch the fact that they kept Dick's cape shorter like the original Robin outfit, while Jason's was longer, almost to the floor, like Tim Drake's? Cannot wait to hear this week's episode, and hopefully a tribute to Stan Lee. Yeah, we got you that at the beginning. So yeah, I guess that's why Jason Todd is so mean, because we've got to make Dick look reasonable.
They set the bar pretty high for like violence and antisocial behavior. So if that's where Dick is at, yeah, Jason's got to really up the ante there.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool point about the short cape.
I didn't even notice, but yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm with him on Corey / Starfire. She's great. She's the voice of reason. She's kind of the irritated mother figure, or cool older sister figure. Her acting is so solid. I'm loving the actress. I'm loving the character. I'm loving that she unapologetically changed into a hideous purple jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like, she loves the lame and she's not giving it up, and I applaud her for that. You do you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we didn't get much of the other characters this week, but I thought
that was fine. This was so great.
Yeah. You didn't need it. Now, as far as the streaming service, I think it's great. I wish I had more time to take more advantage of it and like poke around a little bit. I'm hoping to do that a little bit, once kind of Christmas time rolls around and there's not as much TV.
Same.
But,
I need new episodes to take a break so I can watch Gotham by Gaslight, which I flip past every time, and then I just never get around to watching. So I feel like I haven't had a chance to explore it, and I haven't explored any of the comic content that they have yet, and I need to do that. I need my life to calm down a little bit so I can do that.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, there's a PS here. He says, Excelsior Brian, P.S. Sarah, I know you're a cat person, but don't give up on Hawk people.
Hawk people are going to have to really work to earn back my affection, because Legends really, and Flash.
I'm hoping Krypton can do something about that in a couple months. We'll see. Okay.
I am super not done talking about the Dick Jason thing.
Yes. All right, go on.
So, okay, I know that we are not reading this as a jealous ex listening to the new boyfriend talk about the old boyfriend. Like, I understand that is not actually the dynamic, but it is so funny. So funny to see Dick in that car being like, he lets you drive the Batmobile. He never had a second cup of coffee at home. Like, incredible dynamic. And I think I was texting with Tanya last night about this, and we agreed that there is a moment where it looks like Dick is like, are these two actually doing it? Like, no, because that's so crazy. But I love that we see the peeling away of Dick saying, he's going to do this to you. He's going to use you. He's going to shape you. It's not good. It's not healthy. Take the tracker out. We got to see a little bit more of him. I don't know if they're writing him better, but damn, I'm enjoying this show and Dick so much more in these later episodes. I think those first 3 episodes were so dark and serious and grim, and they have course corrected, or they've relaxed into the characters. in a way that they're interesting, they're funny, they're surprising. I don't know. It's like they popped open the wine and it needed to breathe a little bit. And now in episode 6, we're breathing and it's all working for me. It was really, really good. I also super loved the Robin playing Rorschach when the mobster asks for help and Robin looks down and whispers, "No," when he's being cornered by the Maronis. So anyway, I don't know. You say things now.
Yeah, Tony Zuko. Tony Zuko. Yeah. That's an animated series episode we're gonna have to get to soon.
Cool.
What was I gonna say? When he, because of course Batman would have a scalpel in the bathroom at his safe house.
Obviously,
when he cuts out the tracker, wouldn't he need stitches? I felt like
he's Dick. He walks it off.
Oh man, I think that's dangerous to keep an open wound like that. Open cut, just like, I mean, I realize it's a TV show. You don't have time to show all the proper wound care and first aid and stuff. But
I feel like Batman's medicine cabinet's going to have the scalpel, but it's also going to have like surgical glue so he can close. Maybe we didn't see him seal the wound together at the end. Maybe.
Yeah, that looked dicey to me. I don't know.
I also loved that wistfulness of him finding his circus bouncer friend. I'm sorry, you're the guy who gets the names. I'm the guy who calls him his circus bouncer friend.
That was, you mean Atlas, the strongman, aka
yes.
Clayton Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
That 2 roads diverged in the woods of it all. Maybe I should have stayed with you. Maybe, I should have fought to keep you with me. I would have been poor, but I would have not been turned into a weapon of vengeance and fury. That wistfulness and the effects of vigilantism. I will say this was my runner-up. Winner of the week was the effects of vigilantism on your life. But when you talk about, because of Robin's inaction that got a man killed, then the mobsters came after his son's mother, his fiance, the son himself. And as a result, then he starts killing, Dick / Robin's circus family. I don't know, just the ripples of one rash but understandable decision were really tangible in this week's episode. And I just super loved it. But I also loved Atlas, upon realizing that he was Robin, saying, "Does Bruce know?" And this is what I like, the different levels.
Yeah. I thought that seeing them catch up, I thought that was really cool. And of course Jason had to ruin it by sneaking in and getting a fight.
Jason.
Come on, man. Why can't you just have fun? Why can't you just relax and have fun? Why you gotta cause problems?
And like, why be like that? If you're kind of on a mission or you're trying to kind of be stealthy, don't pick fights, man. Calm down. Just because you can fight doesn't mean you have to fight.
Yeah. Also, his fake ID, he said he was Snake Plissken.
I missed that. That's amazing.
It was like Robert Pliskin, and then the bouncer throws him back. Nice try, Snake.
I didn't even put that together. I must have looked down on notes again. Oh no.
That was funny.
Look, all I know is I tiptoed into an archive of our own, which is the biggest fanfic archive on the internet, to just take a look and see what was there for Batman Robin fanfic. And I gotta say, it's a lot of dubious consent warnings on those. Yikes. I regretted everything last night. I closed my browser and slowly closed my laptop and just quietly went to bed. Oh, there's some stuff out there. I did miss, I could have used a little bit more Gar, could have used a little bit more Rachel. I mean, I do like them as well, but this dynamic and this storyline and yeah, so I'm on board. And do you think if I went back and rewatched the first couple episodes, would they read better to me, do you think, now that I've figured out the tone of the show? Or did the show itself find its footing? Was I not giving the first episodes a fair shake, or did it get better?
Well, I think it got better. I think both can be true.
Okay.
But I think definitely the show's evolved over the course of the season. And yeah, I think it's moving in a good direction. I think that the character beats here, and especially when Dick sees the way Jason acts, and he's almost tarnishing, the mantle of Robin. I think that's just pushing Dick into a point where, like, I've got to go my own way and create my own hero identity. And this is pushing him closer and closer to becoming Nightwing. I think that's cool. I want him to put on the black and blue suit next episode, but I know that's not going to happen.
Do you think that's a season 1 finale thing?
Yeah, kind of like what they did season 1 at Daredevil when he gets the suit at the end. I think that's my guess for what they're going to do, but who knows? It may be sooner than that. But yeah, exciting stuff for this show. Yeah, exciting direction. Any news for Titans?
Just that apparently DC Universe is allowing another vote on Jason Todd. Does he live or die? Now, I cannot tell if they're just doing it for funsies, or if they're actually, like, if it's going to mean anything. But all I know is my vote going into this episode would have been different than my vote at the end of this episode, because that kid has problems.
Yeah, no, he's got to go.
Bruce needs to choose his underlings a little better. Like, I would think Bruce would have better psychological screening for his people. And Jason Todd feels like a loose cannon who probably needed to be screened out.
Well, that was exactly again, this is exactly paralleling, the way fans reacted to the character in the 80s. And what led to them voting for his demise.
Was his character this much of a gleeful sociopath in the 80s?
Well, he wasn't a gleeful sociopath.
I mean, maybe I'm overstating the character in the show.
Yeah,
also,
no.
But
he was kind of a douche. He was. He didn't have the kind of acrobatic training. He was just like, he was a little kid from Skid Row, who impressed Batman, and kind of got thrown into the job, and didn't, a lot of people didn't feel like he earned being Robin. And the way they were writing him at the time, he was throwing out a lot of really hacky one-liners, and people were just kind of annoyed with him.
To be fair,
they just kind of thought he
the 80s was nothing but hacky one-liners and everything, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, to a certain extent. And if you look, that's kind of what Dick Grayson was doing, but just I don't feel like they thought his backstory was strong enough. And if you read the storyline Death of the Family, it's all about him trying to discover who his birth mom was. And so they tried to build that up a little bit. And I guess they were trying to make him, to humanize him and make him a little bit more sympathetic, but the fans didn't go for it. And they just said, no, we want him out. And that's why when Tim Drake came in, they took great pains to, go a different direction with that character. So, all right. So yeah, that's it for Titans. News for other shows.
Okay. Tons of news about the CW crossover for the Arrowverse superhero shows, and a little bit of CW news in general. We have a full synopsis for Elseworlds, the big 3-episode crossover. The 3-night event begins with Arkham Asylum Doc John Deegan, played by Jeremy Davies, rewriting reality, which results in Oliver and Barry swapping lives. In this new reality, Oliver Queen looks like Guston, and Barry Allen looks like Amel, and the two heroes are the only ones who know they're in the wrong lives and have each other's powers. Ed, you saw the trailers, the little teasers for the crossover?
Yeah. And I thought, I thought it's an interesting setup. It's, it's definitely different than the last couple of years. I'm interested to see if Barry Allen or, see Grant Gustin work that bow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because we've seen how his skills on a baseball field. I'm not sure his hand-eye coordination is gonna be up for it, but we'll see.
Likewise, are they gonna make Stephen Amell run real fast? Because that feels like it's also gonna be goofy looking.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's he's a parkour guy, right? So he can run.
I feel like he's a distance runner. He's somebody who's going to be doing your like half marathons, where Barry's a sprinter. So Stephen Amell, slow but steady. He's bulkier. It's just hard to move that much muscle fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look, the sprinters are actually usually more built than the distance runners. At the Olympics.
I mean, they're all pretty skinny.
Yeah.
So that's But yeah, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Yeah, let's talk more about body type and running. That sounds like fun.
That's enough.
All right. So more about the crossover. Apparently each episode is going to feel like the show it belongs to. So the Arrow episode is going to feel like it's an episode of Arrow with special guest stars, which is interesting because last season's crossover, which I super loved, did really feel like a movie split up over an hour.
Yeah.
Let's see, there will be a Legends cameo in hour 3. So there was a big push for Legends are not going to be involved. I don't know what that cameo is going to look like, but apparently we will see something of the Legends in hour 3.
Okay.
And we have another first look at Lois and Clark, this time on the Kent farm. Clark's in his civilian clothes. They're standing in front of an old-timey truck. Tyler Hoechlin remains perfect.
All right.
I think that's all I have for the crossover. Any thoughts to add there?
No. Just I'm planning on putting an extra sting on here. I'm probably going to use the Crisis on Earth X music, just because I kind of get sick of us starting the news and there's no sting there. So if you're wondering what that was, 2 minutes ago, that was the stinger that I was using, Crisis on Earth X.
Well, I would have been happy to give you like an Elseworlds, nothing but Elseworlds. Okay. Then a tiny bit of actual CW news. We have some information about when the shows are coming back from the mid-season break. And so when we will see those return, a lot of shows start coming back, of course, mid-January. But the big change is Black Lightning is going to move to Mondays starting January 21st. It will finish out its second season. It will air its finale in April, after which Legends will take over that Monday slot. And Legends will then finish its season starting in April. So we're going to be down to 4 Arrowverse shows, it sounds like, starting in January, and then Legends will take over, which I'm okay with because it's just a little easier for us to juggle personally on the show. Downside, though, Legends is going to take a break until April.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go 4 months without the Legends, but did they say anything on the episode counts? As to how...
I didn't see that, and I guess if we wanted to try to do the math, we could look at how many Mondays are there from January 21st through sometime in April, ? But yeah, I'll be curious about that too, because Legends, how far into the summer is it going to go? This is kind of the Supergirl model, when Supergirl took all that time off and Supergirl aired into June. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the 22 type or if it's going to be shorter. Those two shows are the ones that typically do a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I mean, Legends usually has like 17, 18 episodes. But I was interested to see, I'm curious as to how much they're going to give Black Lightning, because it was only 13 last year. But that was in mid-season. So if they'll give it like similar to Legends, give it 16 or 17, or if they'll do a shorter run and just do 13 episodes.
You've heard me advocate before for shorter seasons being better for all of us. So
yeah,
I hope they don't. I just don't want them to pad things. That's when you get in trouble.
Yeah. Also, Mondays after Arrow, I think that's better for that show to go after Arrow than to go after Flash. Just in terms of tone.
And like I think I said this last week, I don't super love Legends after Arrow on Monday. I like Legends being the capper to the week.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, IMDb lists 16 episodes for season 2 of Black Lightning. That doesn't mean anything, but that's what they have listed.
All right.
But IMDb is not, definitive source for that. That's it for the CW news. Moving into other shows. Gotham has dropped a new trailer for its upcoming final season, season 5. Trailer looked pretty good to me. What did you think?
Yeah, exciting. A lot of recap from last season, but still new stuff. We're gonna get Bane. We're gonna see we're gonna get more Jeremiah. We're gonna see the No Man's Land plot thread out, and I'm ready for this show to come back.
Yeah,
I
feel like they've been teasing it a lot the last couple of weeks, and I'm with you. Let's unspool it, uncork it.
All right. What's up next?
All right. So not great news potentially for Preacher. Dominic Cooper has booked a role in the British comedy show Peacock. It's airing on the Sky Network, apparently. And if the lead of your AMC show is booking a lead gig on a new show in England, that's not great. It's not great,
No.
Bob.
Yeah, I mean, they do short seasons in England too. A
10 episode American show, a 5 or 6 episode British show. If it's a comedy show, maybe it's half an hour. Those two things could coexist, right?
Yeah, but you would think if Preacher's going to air in the summer that they would probably need to start gearing up for that like soon. Yeah, the fact that it's kind of hanging there. Come on, AMC, make a decision.
Well, and make the right decision, because we're really 3 was such a good season. It followed the comics. They've left us with a big comic-y cliffhanger. They have set it up for a lot of really good stuff in season 4 and beyond. So make the right choice, AMC. Ruth Negga was in Loving. Got an Oscar nomination. Like, you can do things in the off season. He can do Peacock. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So not great news for Preacher. Everybody send good thoughts or tweets at AMC, whatever. Moving on to Swamp
Thing music.
We reported last week that Kevin Durand was looking at maybe playing Floronic Man. Deadline confirms that he has been booked for that role. So Kevin Durand, a big fella, brings a certain air of menace yet intelligence to most of his roles. I'm a Kevin Durand fan. That should be fun. And filming has begun. Crystal Reed had some shots on her social media accounts showing, you've got people manning the cameras. You've got things underway there. So hopefully we'll start seeing some Swamp Thing images. That's another show that I'm really looking forward to seeing.
So excited. I cannot wait. I just can't wait. Let's do this. Come on.
Yes. Speaking of cannot wait, Watchmen. We have some information about the character that Tim Blake Nelson is playing. The character's name is Looking Glass. That's literally all we know about him. That character's name is Looking Glass. That's it.
That's a perfect name for a Watchmen character.
Of course it is. And I swear they must have something in their contracts. Everybody who talks about Watchmen in the media has to rave about how fresh and innovative it is and what a genius Damon Lindelof is, because this interview with Tim Blake Nelson was no different. It's amazing. He's doing incredible things. Everybody's real excited about it. We get it. So Watchmen is in the works. And that is it for the news, my friend.
All right. So that means now it's time for our winners of the week. All right, Sarah, you want to go first? Or should I go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So my winner of the week this week is Awkward Encounter with Exes. Because you've got, your Anissa and Grace on Black Lightning, which I just thought was kind of awkward. Ed, you had real awkward problems with it, but then you've got Oliver and Talia, not really exes, but I feel like there's enough of a history there where that makes things uncomfortable, for their interactions. And of course, Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. I mean, that's just like Bruce's old squeeze and Bruce's new squeeze getting together and saying, that's how he's training you up. Huh. So the delicious awkwardness that comes from bumping into an ex, my winner of the week.
That's perfect. And for me, it's just straight up ragdoll. It's just like, oh my God. creepy villain. Seeing him crawl around, going through vents, smashing his fingers. Everything about that was so spooky. And I didn't think that The Flash would be the kind of show that would bring us that character, but oh man. And still the episode was a lot of fun. And I think he's a great villain, and I hope I never get to see him again, but
whereas I'm kind of excited that he is probably locked up in Iron Heights, because that means he could escape and we can see him again.
Yeah. I hope we never see him again, but like, oh boy, would it be cool to see him again.
There's something wrong with you, Ed. He was terrible. I want to see him again.
So those are our winners, and that's the DC TV report for this week. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Edward O'Hare TBD.
And I'm at Sara Netzley, SaraNetzley.
And be sure to follow the show on Twitter at DCTV Report. Send along your emails to dctv@wickedtheory.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to our show on your podcast app of choice and rate and review us. That helps more people find us. Check out our sister shows, the Wicked Theory podcast and Preacher vs. Preacher. This has been a Wicked Theory Studios production. Executive producer Bill Sweeney. Visit us at wickedtheory.com. Shazam, everybody.
Shazam. And also, Excelsior.
Shazam!